Hey guys, it's Barbie with MyA.S.D, my autism sentiment diary. I'm here to discuss something that occurred today and it needs to be a topic of discussion. The topic is called when you have to talk about it. The thing is, when you have a special needs child, it doesn't matter how many you have, but there are agencies, resources, and just people in general that help advocate and service your child. Whether it is a support coordinator, whether it's a case manager, whether it's a caseworker, a teacher, counselor, and they help you put in place things that people with disability would need in the future, not so much right now. They discuss things such as a crisis plan. See, the thing is, we don't think of a crisis plan. Right now, hypothetically speaking, if you were to get into a serious car accident, you and your partner, or just you, because you're a single mom or a single dad, who would pick up that responsibility to care for your child if something happens to you? Whether it is a week, a few months, because you're in a hospital and you need surgery, or you need to recover, or even worse, when you're gone and you're not coming back. Do you have it secured? And I'm not talking about a life insurance policy. I'm talking about, do you have somebody that can just pick up from where you left off and resume the lifestyle that your child has known their whole life? My support coordinator came by today, and we've been discussing a lot of things lately, because since Marky turned 18, I had to go through a lot of phases, such as gaining guardianship. I never understood that. I just thought when he turned 18, I'm still his mom, and that's just the way it works. Little did I know that I would have to file a petition. And with that petition, it will be up to the judge's discretion whether you are fit to be that child's mother / caregiver, the guardian, power of attorney, whatever they decide. I went through a long road just to continue parenting Marky. But it's extremely hard when you have more than one child who requires your life, your time, your dedication, knowing that there is an expiration date. My daughter just turned 16, and for the last few years, I've been avoiding this question of, Barbie, what are you going to do when Marky turns 18? What are you going to do when Amari turns 18? What are you going to do when Jadel turns 18? What are you going to do if something happens? The crisis plan is not a simple thing to discuss, but it's real. And it needs to be acknowledged. And I used to put it off as much as I could, although this was a topic of discussion every month as my child aged. It was one of those things that I didn't have the answer. I didn't know what I was going to do. And like, the level of trust you have for individuals is different when it pertains to a child who has a disability. See, I can count on people, temporary. I can count on somebody to watch my kid for a few hours. But I'm talking about altering somebody's life because I'm no longer there. Having to fully depend on somebody else to take care of your child, and hoping that they have the same intentions as you do as a parent. having to accept that you won't live forever. And every month they're asking me this. And I recall a few months back, I got so upset and I stepped out of character and I told her, I was like, I don't even know what I'm cooking for dinner. Why are we talking about this? And she just, I'm sorry, Barbie. That's not what I was going for. And I apologize. For the simple fact that I know that her intentions meant well. But she was doing her job. And I don't like to think about it. It's one of those things that I store all the way in the back of my head. And I'm like, I'll get to it. Since my two oldest children lost their father 4 years ago, I was constantly reminded that I am the only surviving parent. Yeah. I was 32 years old when my kid's father passed away. Although we weren't together, the impact was there because my plan B was gone. I am married. And even though I am married, I have to always be mindful that it's hard to place a responsibility on anybody, even your spouse, for the simple fact that they are big shoes to fill. I'm not doubting anybody in particular when it pertains to my children, but I have to be mindful of all the things that come with somebody being there for my children on a permanent position. My oldest son doesn't qualify for life insurance policy. He doesn't qualify because he's had 21 surgeries and he's a high risk. He has not been sick in 11 years, although he is considered medically healthy. There are stipulations when it comes to filing a claim or starting a claim for a child who has a pre-existing health issues. My other two children got approved right away. Peace of mind knowing that 2 out of 3 got life insurance. And it only was a small topping to my cake. But when you strip the issue down into parts, or down to the real issue or the real concern, life insurance is not always going to be the solution to it all. Yes, it will cover certain things that will give me peace of mind. But today, she discussed life insurance, a will to determine what happens with everything that has been established in my personal center planning for my children and my crisis plan and my goals, that although they might be small to some, they're big in our world. She also asked me questions like, so when do you want Marky to transition? And I'm like, transition how? When do you want Marcus to live on his own? I chuckled. I'm like, Marky? Oh yeah, okay. No, she was serious. The thing is that I am one person that eventually is going to be the mother of 3 adult special needs children. I need to accept that I am not a superhero. That I am not in position to physically raise 3 children forever. Although I want to. They're my babies. But it's bigger than that. The crisis plan pretty much explains in detail that, Barbie, when something happens to you, what happens? We, as a support coordinators, we advocate in ways that many people as parents don't think about. The crisis plan is my plan B. whatever I put on there is effective immediately. I don't have to worry about CPS. I don't have to worry about second guessing what needs to be done for my children. And I explained to her my fears of my son transitioning, not because I'm selfish and I want him to myself, although a little of that is true, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid placing my child in the care of somebody else. I'm afraid of somebody hurting my child because they don't understand them. I'm afraid of somebody hurting my child because they lost patience. I'm afraid of somebody hurting my child because they're vulnerable. I'm afraid of somebody hurting my child because they can. And my child can't tell me. Real fears. How do I go about wrapping my head around those things? They're real fears. What could you possibly tell me or any parent of that nature that it's okay? I've been dreading this for a while. And I made a big decision today. I'm going to seek ways to help my child to have a better quality of life, even if it's not without me. Even if it's without me, rather. I'm talking longevity. I'm talking future 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. I'm 37. And I never thought that I would have this discussion. So I always thought that I can, if I avoid answering this question, I don't have to do it. I was wrong. I was wrong. When do you talk about it? When is the right time to talk about it? I know their intentions mean well. I'm aware of that. But the reality is that I can't keep just dodging this situation. I want my children to be happy forever. Even if it's without me. Even if it's without me. Sorry. A smile goes a long ways. And I have been blessed to see a smile on my child's face every day. And I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. And I can't picture Marky getting his own apartment. I can't picture my daughter getting her own apartment. The Wilson babies on their own. But the reality is that time moves without you. These are things that I'm sure I'm going to feel good about it when the moment comes and everything is actually going the way I prayed on it. But I'm always going to have that fear. Just that fear of having to trust somebody. Somebody that I don't know. Somebody that I do know. And my intentions, they're good. I don't want to treat anybody like, you're not good enough for my child. That's not what it is. I'm just scared that somebody will take a bad day and use it against my child. But I pray on it. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And once you get to meet my children, you're gonna want to get to know them. But I don't show the ugly side of my children's diagnosis. So what do I do when they have a bad day? And I'm speaking of my children. And I can't be there. I have to be the bigger, better person and be like, you're going to be okay. It's like when your child cries on their first day of preschool. And your heart breaks because you don't want to see them cry. But you know that you have to do this. It's their first day. It's their first steps. Their first journey. And you just want to be there. And the teacher tells you, all right, Mom, we'll see you at 4 o'clock. And you're like, okay. And you just stand in that hallway and watch your door close. And you can just see your child through a little glass. And you be like, He's gonna be all right. But you're like bawling your eyes out. I know I'm not the first and only parent that cried on their child's first day of school. I have cried for many milestones in my children's life. When Marky took his first steps, when my daughter said her first word after 9 years, when Jody said mama, you guys saw it on video. And those little moments mean the world to me. And I guess I'm also afraid of my child moving on and being happy, but forgetting who I am. It's scary, but I know I've done everything that I'm supposed to, and I'm just, it's ugly fears that I try to just shake off and pretend that they are not an issue, but they're raw. I wanted to be stubborn and fire my support coordinator today just to avoid the question, but the reality is, like, I need her. She's good. She knows her job. She knows what is right and wrong for my children. She's been with my children now for 5 years, and she has grown to understand the circumstances that come with my children. And although she only services my 2 oldest children, she even cares about my youngest. That's great, isn't it? Just to have somebody just summarize it all as one whole, and want to help you. So I had to suck it up and be the better person and just answer the damn question. Like, what am I going to do? There are moments that we have to do things and put the selfish side, the selfish tendencies away, and do what's best for our children. My son moving out, my daughter moving out, my other son ever moving out. It's just like them growing up and moving on with their own lives. It's a little different. My kids are not going to venture off to college, and my kids are not going to venture off to, falling in love and having a relationship and starting a family of their own. They're just going on a different journey of independence. And I should feel so proud of that. Why? Because of the fact that I created these little people, and now they're adults and they're able to do the stuff that I and everybody that I work with taught them. I should be proud, right? But I just wanted to share that, with you guys. And the milestones in parenting is tough. It's tough. I celebrate my victories just like you guys. And I also cry like a baby when it pertains to my babies, reaching new goals and facing struggles and going on to the next step in their life. So, but the reality is that we have to know what's best for our children, even if it's without us. So, note to self. Thanks for chiming in, guys, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.